Hi, it's Mechanical Advantage, and this is the introduction and first video in the gun safety series. So the purpose of these videos, I was inspired to make these after seeing Ian McCollum's video on forgotten weapons, on some of the common rifles that people may encounter, and how to safely unload and make them safe. So I made these based on that and some of the feedback that I saw on his video, which I will include a link to in the description. I highly recommend people check that video out and Ian's channel in general. It's great content. We're very lucky to have access to the wealth of knowledge that he provides. With that said, the purpose of this series is not about how to shoot guns. It's not about the how to maintain them, history of them, any of that. Like in Ian's video, the purpose of the series is to provide ways that you might be able to safely unload and clear a weapon that you might have found. So this is mostly intended for people who are not super familiar with guns or not familiar with the specific platforms that we cover. Keep in mind that I am not a legal advisor. I'm not providing legal advice. I am not a professional gun instructor. This is just based on my knowledge and my experience. So, what should you do if you find a gun? Well, it depends on the situation. For example, if you're just looking through the house and you find a gun, or any other circumstance where you might happen to just find a gun. If it's not posing a safety risk to you or others in the immediate area, I would recommend not touching the gun and alerting authorities or finding someone who is more knowledgeable and is better able to safely make sure the gun is safe and unloaded. However, let's say that that is not possible. Whatever the situation might be, the gun might pose a safety risk to you or the people around you. So how will you go about making sure that the gun is unloaded and safe? Well, this video series will hopefully aim to give you some ideas on how to safely make sure a gun is unloaded. So with that said, it's very important to cover the 4 rules of gun safety because fundamentally this is about safe gun handling. So with that said, the first rule of gun safety is to treat all guns as if they are loaded. So especially in this case where you just come across a gun, when you find a gun, you don't know if it's loaded or not, don't assume. Just treat it like it's loaded. Rule number 2, never point the gun at anything you're not willing to destroy. So the moment you pick up the gun, or if it's been sitting there, just keep in mind where it's pointed. Make sure it's not pointed at anything that you're not willing to destroy. So that could be people, pets, property, what have you. Rule number 3, be aware of where the gun is pointing and what is beyond it. So let's say you're in the house. Here it's pointed at the wall. Is that safe? Well, no, because what is on the other side of the wall? Could there be someone there? Could there be a child? Could there be a pet? Could there be property there that you don't want to damage or destroy? Bullets will go through things. Or even if you're outdoors, if they're pointed at trees or an open area, what is on the other side of that? Are there people there? Or is there property there? Are there animals? If you're pointing a gun in the air, where will that bullet come down? Will it come down where there's people, property, animals? Just keep that in mind. Keep in mind where the gun is pointed. Keep in mind where the bullet might go. Keep in mind what is beyond. Rule 4 of gun safety, keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. So for making a gun safe and clear and unloaded, most of the time you will not need to touch the trigger. So just keep your finger away from the trigger, and it minimizes the risk of an accident occurring. So that about covers the introduction of the series. We will talk about some common rifles. We will talk about some common shotguns. We will talk about some common handguns and how to make sure they're clear and empty. We will show you some examples of what a loaded gun looks like, what an unloaded gun looks like, how to tell the difference. Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you like this video. I hope this series will be of educational value. I hope that it will be helpful and useful in teaching you what to do and how you might safely unload and handle these firearms and hopefully prevent accidents from occurring. All right, thank you guys. We'll see you in the next videos.